Welcome back. This will now be a 21-part series instead of a 3-part series because I tried to make a part 2 last night and, well, it melted the internet. So if you don't know the backstory, about a year ago, I wrote my thoughts on the candidates that were going to be appearing in the first Democratic debate of 2020, the first debate of the season. And I gave my thoughts on their campaign to this point, strengths, weaknesses, and how I thought they would perform overall in the debate. Well, as I said, I made a part 2 last night. It was quite large. It melted the internet here at home. So we're going to do a video for each candidate, and that's just how it's going to have to be. So the first candidate we're going to focus tonight on is Eric Swalwell, the congressman from California. He entered the race on April 8th, 2019, and exited the race on July 8th, 2019. This was the only debate that Mr. Swalwell appeared in, as he dropped out before the second debate, and he was very close to not qualifying for that second debate. So this is what I wrote before the debate. Swalwell is a Democrat member of Congress from a very liberal Northern California district. His predecessor in Congress was one of the only openly atheist members of Congress, and had a penchant for telling constituents in quite blunt terms when he disagreed with them. Swalwell was born in Iowa, but raised in Dublin, California. He claims his parents are Republican. Swalwell has risen to fame in the past 2 years as a member of both the Intelligence Committee and Judiciary Committee, and used that perch to appear quite often on cable news. He is a regular on MSNBC, Fox, and CNN, and it is not uncommon for him to appear on multiple networks on the same night. I'm not sure if he has ever pulled off 2 different channels in a single hour before, but it is not for lack of trying. Swalwell is running essentially as a single issue on the single issue of gun control. Swalwell's proposal is extremely controversial even among gun control advocates. One of his proposals is mandatory gun buybacks for assault weapons, as well as certain gun accessories already in circulation and legally purchased, and criminal prosecution for those who refuse. Swalwell seems to not understand in some parts of the country that when some citizens hear the word gun control, they envision a van driving around, pulling up to their house, breaking down the door, and taking away their guns. Democrats often have to fight hard against these accusations. Such perceptions have decimated the Democrats' ability to be successful in rural areas. And here he is, advocating such a policy. Bottom line, Swalwell's background in appearing on cable news shows will serve him well in being able to provide short rebuttals to questions. And if you watched this debate, you know that Swalwell came ready with a tailor-made line. It's time to pass the torch to a new generation. He went after the other candidates, especially Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders, as being too old. And tried to make the argument that it was time to pass the torch to a new generation. Interestingly enough, he appeared on night 2, and he was not even the youngest candidate on stage. So that was quite humorous to me. And Swalwell did not back down from his position about gun control. In fact, there was a candidate that would even take a more extreme position later in the campaign than him, and we'll cover that candidate when we get to him. But Swalwell's campaign never really got off the ground. It was a campaign of like, why are you even running? What point is served by your run? The last member of Congress to be directly elected from the House of Representatives to the office of President of the United States was James Garfield. The last member of Congress to be directly elected from the House to the office of Vice President, not appointed, that would obviously be Gerald Ford, but elected to the office of Vice President from the House of Representatives was John Nance Garner. And Garner was the Speaker of the House. So, quite a lengthy battle there. So, yeah. A length of time, the House, I mean, in some ways it is a springboard to the presidency. There have been multiple presidents who have served at some point in the House, but not directly going from the House to the presidency. I always thought that Swalwell's run may have been an attention grabber. If Kamala Harris won the nomination, maybe he thought that his run could have endured himself to Gavin Newsom and got appointed to the Senate to fill the remainder of Harris's term, or he could have used that to run for the full term. But Swalwell was already appeared on cable news all the time. I honestly think this was just a vanity project on the part of Mr. Swalwell. I really do. He didn't raise much money. He didn't move the needle any. He polled in the bottom part of the polls. So that is that. I will see you all for part 2. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but we're gonna trudge through this. We're gonna get to all of them, and it's gonna be a long process. I'll see you then.